the tourism industry saw something totally unprecedented. For the first time, we had 0 arrivals and 0 earnings. And so the first 3-4 months, just after February, Jamaica lost about 496 million US dollars. That amounted to something like 400 million Jamaican dollars per day. And that was really difficult. Jobs loss resulted in just about 354,000 people from all segments of the industry and also related industries, because tourism, as you know, is a series of moving parts and it touches almost every element of economic activity. And the job levels reflected that. So now we see UNCTAD reports suggesting that Jamaica is the hardest hit destination as a result of the COVID-19 impact on tourism. And that impact we have to recover and recover quickly from. It's like that. I made a comment on that in Parliament, and I made the point very clear that the move to open and reopen the industry is not about tourism. It's about the economy, and it's about the economic life or death of Jamaica.
This is our home, Jamaica, and tourism is the lifeblood of our country. Let's all feel good again. Whether with family or friends, we want you to enjoy your staycation.
We have to ensure that they are comfortable, they feel well protected.
New standards are in place to ensure your safety. We are here to serve you better, so you can have the best experience. Come out and rediscover Jamaica.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
Rediscover Jamaica.
Heartbeat of the world.
So I think the thing that's really important to note here is that this is the first time in the history of hospitality in probably some 70 years that we've ever seen a true closure of the borders, a shutdown of the global aviation industry. So we've been through many things. One of the most resilient industries in the world is tourism. We've seen the Gulf War in 1991. We have seen September 11th. We have seen the economic crisis of 08, 09. But this is the first time we've ever seen a pandemic like this that actually took away the ability for tourism to earn. So globally, not just here in Jamaica or in the Caribbean, globally we have had to take this on a step-by-step basis. At the beginning, we didn't even know what we were dealing with. And then it became clear that we were going to lose all abilities to earn revenues and have visitors come on shore.
So very early in this crisis, we started to prepare our response. What would we do about COVID-19 to make sure our passengers are safe and our staff are safe? And we have been following best practices. While there are no global standards, we intend to follow what's best practice as dictated by ICAO, IATA, ACI, and WHO, as well as our local Ministry of Health.
Well, we were kind of one of the first movers as it relates to protocols. From early as February, we had put in place our COVID response team. We did internal protocols and we started to make changes throughout our entire resorts. So if you came here, say February, March, this is before we even closed down the industry, we had already put in our hand sanitizing stations, we had changed our housekeeping protocols, we had already started to practice social distancing, we had changed how we oriented the restaurants, the bars and everything else. So for us, it was just a natural transition. So when the new protocols came out through TPDCO, it was not a difficult move for us to start doing some of the other elements because we had already been in train. We had already trained a lot of our staff members even prior to that. And during the period, we also hosted a few groups that were here, like for the medical mission, the Cuban group that came in, the nurses and doctors stayed at the Pegasus. And we also had one of the BPO groups that stayed at the Holiday Inn in Montego Bay. So our staff was really already fine-tuned and understanding what the new normal would be. And so for us, it's not a difficult thing now to move forward in terms of pushing ahead with the new protocols because it's already a part of our DNA and it has been something that is well honed in our organization and our practices. So when our guests return and they see the new normal, it will be easy. And we even have learned how to smile behind our masks, which I don't have on at the moment, but believe you me, we have mastered it.
Well, the expectations, of course, is for a phased opening, and we would see the movement within our space of numbers that have to relate to our ability, first of all, to manage based on the protocols we've established and the way in which we are managing the virus, bearing in mind that much of what has been Jamaica's statistics have been imported. And tourism does provide a huge vehicle for importing of cases. So we don't want that. So we are moving slowly. The first month we brought in just about 6,000 visitors. I had projected that we would bring in 5,000 to 6,000. We brought in a little over 6,000. And the second month, which began yesterday, we are expecting to have just a little over 55,000 visitors. So we will start with perhaps just about 10,000 or so workers overall, and we expect to earn for Jamaica up to the end of July just a little over 60 million US dollars.
What is expected now is an elevated standard of cleaning and sanitization, where this will come forefront and will become a visible part of the customer experience. They want to see that the rooms are being cleaned properly and being sanitized. They want to know that, you know, the public spaces. So a lot of what we do, it's based on the basic cleaning standards. What will change is the frequency with which you will clean. You know, if somebody comes to your front desk or your concierge desk, that desk will have to be cleaned and sanitized after each encounter.
On arrival, our guests will be greeted by our wonderful drivers in a highly sanitized vehicle, and yes, our drivers will be wearing masks, and our guests will be required to wear masks, and that will be so throughout their stay. So you travel to the hotel, you're greeted by our wonderful team who know many of you very well, and you will be checked in as contactless as possible. You will have your temperature checked and greeted with that wonderful cold towel with a sanitizer on. So again, the wonderful Jamaica Inn experience as we welcome you home with a fruit punch or a planter's punch in your hand. So during the stay, you will also be required to wear your mask, which doesn't necessarily take away from your stay at all, just while in public areas or moving between public areas, but certainly while in the restaurants and on the beach and enjoying a cocktail at our bar, you will be able to remove your mask and so truly enjoy the wonderful Jamaica and the Caribbean experience. We have bypassed the check-in process. So anywhere that could have been communal, we've done social distancing at the bars. So team members and our visitors are separated. The global standard through WHO is 6 feet apart. Sandals was built for 2 people in love. So as a business, we have separated over the years by design how close. It's about privacy. So whereas people are talking about 6 feet, we're looking more like 16 feet and in some cases 60 feet because we put them out on the beaches, we put them under the stars. So we're very beneficial that we have low density properties that allows for social distancing naturally.
And then of course we develop a whole series of other protocols in relation to that. By way of what do we do with our own social activities, how do we adjust our own cultural patterns and our behavior and style in the country so as to achieve those 4 key touch points.
So high touch areas are areas that we're giving particular focus on. We're working with our cleaning company to increase sanitization of these high touch areas, the security checkpoint, the restroom area, seating areas in the food court included. Our concessionaires are also on board with us with these measures, and they have very detailed protocols in place for health and safety. So we're pretty confident that those measures will work and will bring confidence really in travel.
For our housekeeping department, we've obviously enhanced our safety and sanitation protocols in terms of cleaning. frequency is one of the things that we have improved upon and advanced in terms of the touch points. When we're doing room cleaning also, the housekeepers will go through. They have a new protocol in how to sanitize their rooms, but also when you're finished sanitizing the rooms, they're the last point of entry into the room, and those rooms will be sealed. So when the guests come to check in, they'll have a seal on their door that will say that this room has been cleaned and sanitized and sealed, and then they will be the first ones to enter the room. They're using new technology in terms of using black lights, and they're using also steam cleaners and other elements that we're putting in place just to go that extra level of sanitation. Not that it's a must requirement, but we are taking it to the next level.
One of the things that I think is really important about this situation is there was no roadmap or pathway. There was no GPS as per se as to tell us where to go. This was unfolding by the minute. We were learning about the virus, and we know so much more about the virus, 120 days later versus where we started. We've been following WHO, World Health Organization guidelines, Pan-American Health Organization guidelines, and international best practices around health and safety. Then we created these national protocols. I sat on the committee here in Jamaica and several in the Caribbean. And at the same time, then you have the sort of above the line national level, and then you have within your companies.
We have put in all the protocols, we have put in all the PPEs, we have put in all the procedures, and have our staff trained and more knowledgeable on what is required in the new normal of hotel operations.
We feel very secure in the view that Jamaica has developed the protocols to secure our destination. We've enabled the COVID security equipment or infrastructure to be acquired and positioned within the corridor. And we have so rearranged the furnishings in the area to allow for social distancing on the beach, social distances around a pool, social distances also in the dining areas, and we have required all our workers to be properly outfitted with COVID secure uniforms, equipment, and we have also trained, and that's a big point that I want to make, we have trained more than 30,000 workers already through the Tourism Product Development Company's Team Jamaica program, and also through the Jamaica Center for Tourism Innovation online training programs.
This is what you've been waiting for. A chance to change your point of view and take the break you deserve at Jamaica's resorts and attractions. When you can open your door to the seaside instead of just outside. Where you can change your mask and take a plunge.
Sunshine smiling warm up inside your heart. Feeling of pure love. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat. Dancing to the beat. Up inside your heart. Whoa. Heartbeat of the world. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat.
Contact your travel agent today to book your staycation. Rediscoverjamaica.com.